And now, as experts converge in the nation's capital, Abuja, to discuss the diplomatic performance of Nigeria within peace and security, questions of how to reorganize Nigeria, what Nigeria's interest is in ECOWAS as regards peacekeeping, and the need to build synergy amongst or around Nigeria's core value, amongst other critical diplomatic issues, was the objective of this discourse. Now, KAFTAN TV's correspondent Mavis Ako attended the third Wiser Speakers Forum and now reports.
The third forum of Withn Institute for Strategy, Education and Research Nigeria in Abuja had critical stakeholders in attendance, with discussions centered on Nigeria's diplomacy in regional and global peace and security. According to the ECOWAS Commission, represented by Dr. Onyinye Onwuka, while stating the Commission's diplomatic tools, speaks on the importance of strategic thinking for Nigeria ahead of the new administration.
Unfortunately, many of the countries that have benefited tremendously from Nigeria's largesse have not shown us any serious respect or any gratitude. What is the missing gap for us as a nation? How can we re-strategize? How can we translate the enormity of wealth, material and human resources into strategic thinking? And people who also inform decisions, that Nigeria begins to look critically and ask themselves, what assessments is it that we have gained? What's the gain from our input? In ECOWAS, Nigeria funds ECOWAS over 60%.
The ambassadors in attendance also lend their voices to how domestic environment shape what the nation does externally.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs should be configured to work in tandem with the Ministry of Defense, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, and other government departments and ministries, but it is a very practical and topical matter that actually necessitates our thinking about how we organize our polity, our country, our politics, our diplomacy, our economy, everything. Without that, the totality of the concept of security will be lost, and we will always be hanging out there at the mercy of any karma who wants to perpetrate outrages against our country, against our people.
For Nigeria to be able to play the role that all of us pray for, and for which you want to advise the incoming government. I think it's also, Sariki talked about finance, but let me give you the theoretical underpinning. There's what you call the linkage approach. The linkage approach in foreign policy means that the domestic environment often determines what you do externally.
Group Captain Sadiq Garba speaks on areas of instruments Nigeria can use for diplomacy.
Let me be honest with you, the truth is that any officer that goes for defense attaché, he is higher up in terms of exposure, in terms of the money he's making. But why don't you incentivize it? Make it open, make it competitive, so that Nigeria, in paying that man extra could also get something. In other countries, a defense attaché is a country is a national resource forever. Critical assessment and evaluation of Nigeria's defense diplomacy, the starting point must be the assessment of defense potential, budgetary capacity, participation and implementation of tasks in international organizations, ECOWAS, African Union, United Nations, the Chad Basin, and the rest. The ambition of the state and its strategic objectives, but also the state of the international environment, relations with allies and other neighbors.
Brigadier General Salibala, the convener and President Wiser, reveals that these conversations will provide policy advisory points for the incoming administration.
The whole intent of the Withn Institute for Strategy, Education and Research to convene this three-series conversation is to find important policy advisory points to share with the incoming administration. The fact that even the defense and security institutions have to be capacitated for them to be able to robustly be able to deal with our growing internal challenges, which otherwise we will not be able to resume our very strong regional and global reputation of helping to find peace and stability around areas of the world.
The next forum is stated to address national cohesion, to crystallize Nigeria's power as it regards the giants of Africa. From the nation's capital, Mavis Ako, KAFTAN TV News.